Hi, I'm Melissa from polkadotchair.com, and I'm excited today to show you how to make the first block in our 2022 block of the month pattern. This is block 1 of the Sparkle More quilt. This video will walk you through the steps, very basic steps of how to make this block. It's a really simple block and a great way to start for the quilt along. If you'd like to join us on the quilt along, it's free. All you need to do is purchase the pattern, and I will go ahead and add a link in the video for you guys. Let's walk you through the steps to make the first block in the Sparkle More quilt. All of the blocks are going to be constructed in a similar way, so I thought I would make a video to kind of walk you through the steps of making this first block, and then that should help you make all the rest of the blocks in the quilt. And then as we go, if there's more techniques that are introduced, I'll go ahead and make short videos to help you with those too. So first, to start out, make sure you've got enough of your squares. You've got 12 navy squares and 5 dark denim squares, 4 boy blue squares, and 4 white squares. If you notice on your pattern, the way you lay this out is a little different than what it looks like when it's finished. So what you want to do is you want to start with the first row, and you're going to lay out your blocks as it's shown in the diagram. And then each row is going to get added an extra block. Okay, so after you have this laid out, you're going to have 2 extra navy squares. Just set those aside. I'll show you what to do with those afterwards. Actually, let me see if I can scoot this up a little bit so you guys can see it a little better. There, that's a little bit better. What you're going to do is you're going to begin sewing the rows together. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows here. You're going to sew each row together like this. And then you're going to sew the rows to each other. Pretty straightforward, simple patchwork. And then I'll show you what to do next. I have the blocks or the squares in each row sewn together. And before I sew the rows together, I want to show you guys a quick trick. It's actually, I think, a really important one. So what I did is I pressed my seams on my block to one side on each row. And since this block doesn't have a top or a bottom, it doesn't really matter if it's a left or a right, as long as they're just pressed to one side. So if you can see, I've arranged these. You can turn it right side up, upside down, because it's not an up or a down block. And I've got it so that the seams on this row are going this direction, and the seams on this row are going this direction. And what that allows me to do is, as I sew the blocks together in the row, I can, if I hold this there, let's see if we can get this to focus in here. Okay, there you can see. So it's called nesting your seams. And what this does is when you finish sewing your block together, all of your seams will be lined up because you are butting them up. So you've got one seam going this way and one seam going that way. And you're going to place a pin at the seam between each of the squares in each of the rows, and then sew all the rows to each other. Right, now you just need to add the parts to the top and the bottom. So what I've done on this top square is I folded it in half so I can see where the center is. I've just made a little crease. And then I've also taken one of my extra navy squares and folded it in half so I know where the center is. And I'm going to line up the center of this piece with the center of this piece and sew it across the top. And I'm going to do that for the piece on the top and the bottom of the block. Here I've got the block sewn. I'll flip it over so you can see what the seam allowances look like on the back. I always just press them to one side. Obviously, I have a lot of strings I need to cut. So you've got your block like this. All you're going to do is you're just going to turn it 90 degrees. So now you can kind of see the block coming together. And then you need to trim it to 12.5 inches square. I have a 12.5-inch quilt ruler that I like to use for this. If you don't have a 12.5-inch quilt ruler, the easiest thing for you to do is going to be for you to find the center here with a regular quilt ruler, because this is the center, this is the center. Kind of mark a line and then cut out 6¼ inches this way and 6¼ inches this way, then rotate it and do it the same way. So you don't have to have the 12.5-inch ruler, but I do think it makes it easier. This ruler is nice that has white marks on the centers. Your block should be very close to having 1/4 inch seam allowance on the tip of the edge. My block looks like it came out slightly larger on some of the portions. That's okay if yours does that. It's all going to work out when you sew your quilt together. But probably what happened with my block in particular is you have to, with this block, use a full 1/4 inch seam allowance. If you use a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance, you'll get kind of what's going on here, where it should be about 1/4 inch wider, but I'm gonna still go with it, so it's up to you guys. And then all you're gonna do is you're just gonna take this, so just make sure you've got your up and down straight, and so it's not quite straight there, and trim it off. Your completed quilt block. If you guys make them, make sure that you tag me on Instagram at polka dot chair. I'd love to see them as we sew along this month, and I look forward to next month. Got another fun block for you guys.